Hi, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday. This is my quiet corner. I hope everybody's having a great day. And thank you, Yolande, for sharing out my link for people to find me. I really appreciate it. And today, I have a couple of things that I thought I would like to do. I want to say thank you for all of the cards that came in. I really appreciate it. We have from Esther, and Esther sent uh, a bunch of wonderful little goodies for me to use in my collage, which I really appreciate. And I know I'm starting before everybody gets here, but I figured I would just show this stuff and then we'd get into the arting stuff. And hi, Lisa and Raul. Yes, I did. Only in the upper part. Hi, Belinda. I'm just showing a couple of the cards that came. When my son got the mail, he says, "My goodness, you get more mail than I do," which is really cool. Hey, Shannon, this one is from Anne. She made a bunch of cards. It's really, really pretty. Shannon, hello. And then I got this postcard, Snow for the Days. Isn't that so cute? And all the stitching and everything around there. And this is from April. And I got another postcard. And this one is from Joyce Boring. It's so pretty. I love handmade cards. And this one is from Aunt Beck and Scott, Aunt Beck's Creations. She comes on at 11 now on Wednesdays. And then I got a bunch of these. It's like, oh my goodness, I was really surprised and happy. This is from Dee Dee and her family. And I got all kinds of stickers and one of her prints, which I just love her prints. I have one of her very first art cards, and I just love it. Hi, Pam. Oh, you're welcome, Shannon. And then I also got some of her giveaways and Happy Mail giveaways. So I got all kinds of yummy goodness here to work in my collage, which is awesome. So I really like that. I love the typewriter. That is so cool. So that is a bunch of what I had in the mail. And I did have other stuff, but in the process of moving things around, you know how that goes. Well, hello, Seeger Sims. Welcome from Sweden. You're here in Alberta, Canada. So I had a couple of things that I thought I would like to do. I do want to share with you a little bit of what I have been doing. And I am working on my commonplace book. Hi, Kathy. Nice to see you. And this is the cover that I started. If you know the Mariotier, she has a membership, and in her membership, she is doing a special project, and this is part of her project. So if you want to learn more about what the Mariotier is doing, head on over to her channel, and she has options to join into her membership there. So I'd really appreciate it if you could do that. But I've been working on this behind the scenes because it's something that I want to work, and I've been wanting to do for a while, but her project just inspired me to do a little bit more. Hi, Jeh. Hi, Pam. Nice to see everybody coming in. So I did some pages on the inside and I was really happy with how they came out and all of the different colors. So I've been working on this just to do some backgrounds, and when I get to the part where I want to add information, then I will just put extra pieces in there. But we'll work on that. So I've started the next layouts. So I'm working on that, and then I'm also working bits and pieces in my field notes. And as you know, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away one of my leather field note covers that I make. So you would get that, and I would put a journal in there for everybody. So that is on the up and coming. So if you're not subscribed, please do share out. Help me get to that point so we can work on that and have that giveaway. So I've been working in my field notes, and I've showed this a couple times where it's the landscapes of Canada, of the different things that I've seen and experienced. Yeah, I am getting close. It's getting there. It's getting there. So I've been doing some of this, and this one I need to still do the shading around the animals. So I'm working on that. The other thing is, if you haven't um, watched Raul's New Year's Eve streamathon, Janet Young has launched her 2026 scavenger hunt, and I have been working on that. So this is a moleskin book, and I've done a couple flips of this a couple times, and I'm trying to fix my camera so I'm not getting so much glare, but it's not going to happen because this stuff is shiny. So I had a bunch of stickers, and I just added this in there. Hey, Ann. And I've been working on it, and I thought this would be the perfect book to put the scavenger hunt in, because this book from stickers, it turned into a collaging whatever book. And it got to a point of everything. It was Amazon, and and this is 2025, the end of 2025. And I've been collecting all of these things. And December started here. And we thought, what would be so cool is to see how many stickers from Amazon comes in to the house. Because most of the stuff, for Christmas mode, everybody's ordering, and Amazon was the easiest. Okay, Shannon. So we collected off of every package that came in. Now, granted, some packages didn't come from Amazon, but excuse me, most did. So it started here with December and December and December. So here was the end of 2025, and that was the end of those. So that was a fun little thing to do. And everybody would pull the stickers off the packages when they'd come in. So that was pretty cool. But then I started the scavenger hunt. And as you can see, I have just about everything done. Just about. I still have maybe 15 or less to do. And on each page, I listed all of the prompts that are on that page. So, and I added, this was my paper bag. It was a puppy treat bag. So I put that on there, and then I have my pocket Turn it over here. I have another pocket, and this was basically supposed to be all of a similar color, but I didn't get all of that, so I have to work on that one a little bit more. And this was from Devon. I had one a giveaway from Devon, and this is fib art. So I put it in here, and it's as a tip in. So that's my tip in as well. And then all of the things that were involved with this page with the prompts I put there. And then we turn the page and we've got the face, we got stencils, we got splatters, we've got a whole bunch of things happening on here. My swatches, washi tape stickers, random fact, stains, coffee stains. So I list everything that's on that page. And that's how I've been doing it. And there's a lyric. Fa la 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 la. No worries, Yolande. No worries. So yes, I put the card that I got from you in here for fib art. And it's snark. That is also the snark card. So that was my snark for the hunt as well. Happy snarky Christmas. So I've got snark. So, and then I've got the face in a magazine page. And let's see, and then my black and white page, I had washi tape. My pink page, I had washi tape. Blue page, I had washi tape. And then here, I decided, as it said, put a bird on it, do googly eyes, make a spring, squares, a pin, a button, a red flag, a ruler, a playing card. And then I did a design in a letter, and they had butts. And then my daughter-in-law gave me some stickers, and I had to put a pun or a joke, and I said butt of a joke, and it had this little butt sticker, and I thought that was perfect for that all the way around. And watercolor, because I watercolored on this, but this book does not like fountain pens or watercolors or anything like that. So there's my mosaic, my advice page, the golden ticket for Willy Wonka. My most wanted poster is art supplies. I drew lace, made a tag. I did faux stitching, because she said we could interpret this as however we want, right? So, and there's my punched circles, my ransom note, send art. That's as creative as I got. So that's where I am so far with that. But I've also been, in between everything else, I've also been doing some of my classes that I've got. Now this is a Stillman and Birn sketchbook, and it is amazing. You wouldn't think for a sketchbook that you could do watercolor. You see this page is beautiful. I could be, okay, no worries, Yolande. It could be fresh start. I haven't done anything, but I have. I used watercolor and ink on the opposite side of that page. This sketchbook, hey Zippity, this sketchbook is fabulous. This was a lot of watercolor, and it did not go through, and ink. It's perfect. I was hesitant when I bought it, but it is awesome. This is one of Tamara Laporte's Willowing Arts classes. Hey, Jean, nice to see you. And she did a class, and then you take and you interpret it as you like. And that is what I did here. and I really like it. It really came out great. So on this side, um, I have another example of what I wanted. I already drew what I want to paint on here. So that's what I'm going to do today. I am going to paint this with my watercolor and my inks and whatever else I can muster up to make it look fantasy with the castle and the dragon. So this was my workup of design. So that's what we are going to do. And I am going to use watercolors that are QOR golden. And if I have my other one over here, I don't see it. So I will just stick with those and we're going to get to it. And I'm going to start with the background because I do have wash and stuff, but I could use that. But I decided that I would use these paints. So I'm hoping, oh, that's the lighting. It's not going to like it on that side. So we'll have to put it on this side. The lighting gets really crazy on me, like unbelievable. So I got my water, and yes, it is, get my stuff out of the way here. It's in my little poop cup. So I'm going to work with the blues. I haven't painted in a while online, so I'm a little rusty. I'm just a little rusty, but I am going to take and grab a piece of paper so I can test my colors and see what I want, because I want a little bit of a misty background. So I'm going to try and decide which blue I want to use. And I will add probably a smidge of, I'm thinking the teal and the dark for in the background. So with watercolors, you always go light to dark. So that is what we will do. We will work with the light and just go in. Now remember, I am going to use gouache as well on this. So like I said, I am just going to put it on. And this is how I did the other side. It just worked out so well. And I'm blending. Now I do have my penciling in the background. I can still see it a little, which is okay. And we'll work with that when the time comes. I should use a different brush, but so what else is everybody working on? What is everybody working on? When you're working with a book like this, if you want to blend, you have to blend quickly, because if you don't blend quickly, it dries really fast. So you have to know your watercolors. You have to know the amount of paint that it can maintain or hold. And water is an important thing, because if you do too much water, it will eventually get really buckly, and I don't want it to get really buckly. So I'm working as I can. I want the corners darker. Then I do the other side. Move my water back a little because I want to make sure I'm on there. I hope you can see okay. It's nice to see everybody being here, and thank you, Devin. I appreciate it a whole lot. sorting and printed photos that you put off since you moved 2 years ago. Oh, wow. Yeah, I know that feeling. I have boxes that I still have to sort through, and it's the worst thing ever. It's the last little bit of stuff, right? And I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. You see, I'm not being really perfectionist about this. I'm just slapping it on. How many people like to watercolor? I love to watercolor. I know Yolande can watercolor really well. This will turn out nice eventually. It always has the ugly stage before the pretty stage, and believe me, the other side had an ugly stage too. I love to watercolor. Watercoloring was my first love. It's what I first started out with. Basically, when I first started streaming, it was about 12, 13 years ago, and it was on Ustream. And I went from Ustream to YouTube. And YouTube, my first channel, I deleted and I started all over, which is why I'm trying to get to 1,000 again. Because my first channel, for many reasons, I had to, didn't have to, but it was easier than it was trying to be incognito, so to speak. So I started from scratch and it was the best thing ever. Hey, Christina. Oh, I, it can be daunting at times to watercolor because it's a process, right? It takes time to get to where you want it to be. Now I'm going to take a little bit of uh, white, and that kind of gives it a gouache look, but I want to have the castle have a little bit of a glow. So I'm going to just come in around here because it's still wet and give the castle a bit of a glow in the background. And you can see when you do splash, it does leave the marks, the same as when you splat or spit or whatever. But you can see what it looks like. It doesn't look too bad. Still needs a little bit of work, but I will get there. It will come around. I like to do a lot of different things. For those that are new here, thank you for coming. I do enjoy a lot of different art. You will see a mix of woodworking or leather or stitching, you name it. I can do it. And I do that quite a bit because I like to have a change. I like a change of different things. I could have used a bigger brush, and I just might, just to give a different look. Probably should have used it to start off with, but it'll help give it a different different look, a different texture, a different design. And I do have that white in there. And you see, I am working this page quite a bit. And it is holding up tremendously well. Very, very well, actually. There's no pilling. I can show you the back side. It's not coming through. It's a little wet in this spot, but that's all right. It's fine. So there's my background. I'm going to let the background set for a little bit because there is a little bit more that I'd like it to do, but the more you work with the watercolor, the more it starts to pick it up instead of lay it down. So you have to give it a chance to set a little bit. So when you let that set, then you can go to another section, and then you can always go back to and add to. But I wanted my castle to have a little bit of a glow, and I want one side to have a little shadow. So I decided to draw this a little bit differently than what the class was like, but I wanted to give it a different look, a different ambiance. So I do have in the background the doors. I want the doors to be a brown, a mix of browns, not just brown, but a mix of brown. So I'm going to start with my lighter color. And I'm not giving names because actually there's no names. Well, there is on the back of my card. I have this on magnets, and then I listed all of my paints. But on the front, there's no names. I just go by the color. And because I'm using a toned paper, it will look different than it being on a white paper. It will give it a different ambiance in the back of it. So let's start off with this color. Now I'm going to take my time a little bit more on this than I did the sky. I appreciate everybody being here. Janet, Janet, Janet. Hello, Laura. It's so nice to see you, Miss Janet. I've missed you, girl. I know things have been a little bit rough, but I am so happy to see you here. And you know you are more than welcome to be back in at the group. You can come back in there whenever you feel the need to come back in and just enjoy the fun of seeing pictures, and you don't have to be an admin or a mod or anything. Just come back and relax. Have some fun. So I did my first layer. Now I'm going to go to my mid-tone, and I'm just going to just dabble in just little bits here and there, just to give it a wood effect. I really am enjoying doing the Wednesday afternoon because mornings are so hard for me sometimes. But I like doing the mid-afternoon because then by the time I'm done, because it's only like 1:27 here, then I can go on about the evening. And hey, Motion 929, hi Jackie. I can go about my evening and with supper and get things going and then just chill. Like just chill. Now you can see how nice that streaked with those different colors. So from that, I should lift this up a little bit to so you can actually see. So from that, I'm going to go to my darker dark. And take that color and do it again. Except this time, I'm going to do a little bit more dark around the edge and then bring it in. That was a little bit too much water, so I'm going to redo again. It's nice to see everybody here. I really appreciate it. I do stream on Friday as well, and that is usually at 9 a.m. in the morning, my time, which is 11, 9, 10, 11, yep, it's 11 Eastern. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Sometimes it runs a little bit later than 9. I will set it for 9, but it all depends on the previous person streaming. Because, sometimes we just need that extra little bit of a time to get things finished. Now, since I did that, I'm thinking I'm going to go to the green because I want that to set a little bit. And I am going to come back in with my Inktense pencils and actually do some defining and detailing. We're moving right along. It's only been a half an hour. We've shown things. We've gone through books. And we're painting. Oh, that's nice motion. So now I'm going to do greens. And there is a green mountain back here, as well as the grass in here. And I made this part a cobblestone. So that'll have a little bit more detail in it. So now we're going to go to, I think I like this green, because this green looks good back there. I am going to work this with other colors. I will probably use ink for my trees, and that's where mixed media comes in really, really nice, is when you are working with a bunch of different mediums, you can come back in with your inks and design and be creative. And the watercolors I'm using right now are the QOR, golden QOR. They are really creamy. I was going to use my gouache to paint this, but then I thought I would use my gouache for accenting. Shannon will be live tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hi, Lynn. I'm sure later everybody would love to go and check it out. So I'm going to continue on working with my green here. And I am going to go around my little dragon because I don't want him to be green or have a green tinge. So I'm just going to go around him. And I don't know if you know, but when you're using watercolor, if you take your tip of your brush and you hold it to where you want your paint to go, it will actually push the ink towards that edge and it will be darker. So you can see how that happened. So when you're outlining, you always turn your brush to the side you want your bead of paint to go, and it will automatically outline. So that's a little tip for you if you're new to watercolor. A lot of people don't see tags right away, Lynn. So sometimes it just either takes time, it could be weeks before they see that you've been tagged or anything like that. So you just have to be patient. You just have to be patient. So I'm going around this guy. I think I'm going to put this a little darker here. And again, I turn my brush to go this way. But I do want, I think I'm going to have that green come out just a smidge more because I don't like how that is there. So when I'm pushing my brush tip to the other side, it will push the paint and it will work out just fine because I wanted that to go over just a little bit more. And it's okay if it's a little rough, that's fine. Try your best. Yep, that's all we can do is try our best. Do what we can. Now I need a little bit darker of a green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that green that I just used. And if you got candy this year, the little containers that your candies come in are perfect for mixing. So I'm going to take and put some of this green in there and a little bit of water. And then I'm going to add a little bit of a blue because I want it to be a bluishy green. So, all right. Now I'm going to come here and it's the same green, but I added a bit of a dark blue to it. So I can have a difference in the mountain to the grass. The mountain green and the grass green. So, and then it will show off the castle a little bit more too. So like I said, you just work your brush so it looks good. So that's a good color. I like that color. That works out well. And I only needed a little bit, so we will continue over. And yes, I'm going right over my tree. but I know where it is because I can still see my pencil marks. So, all right. So now we've gotten that far. Now the cobblestone, now remember, this is only your base. This is just the beginning. This is the ugly stage. This is the ugly stage. This is before all of the fun starts. Oh, thanks, Lynn. So every time you're painting, it's going to look different. It's going to look bland. So don't worry about it. It will come together. So the next thing we're going to do is the cobblestone. And I'm thinking I'm going to do this Bye, Lynn. So I think I'm going to do this in a yellowishy color. And then I will go around it with an orangey yellow to give it motion. But like I said, I am just going to go with it. Now, just remember my book is a toned gray. It does have black and tan in here as well. I should have showed that, but I didn't. I'll show it after. So there is the walkway. It's been a while since I've painted and done anything on here, so I hope everybody's enjoying this. It's been a while since I've watercolored live. Now I need a bit of a gray. In order to get gray, I've got to water down a darker color. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take another color. I'm going to use my my little candy dish. Aw, thanks, Kathy. It's nice to see you too. So I don't need a lot, but I needed some, and I'm just putting it in there. There's not a lot in there. But I want a light gray just for these rocks around the edge. You see, I am jumping around, going from one side to different areas because you need to leave certain areas dry. Now I will get some bleed when I go over some of the brown, which is fine because it'll give it an old look. Oh, thanks, Shannon. Yeah, it's been a while. It's nice to see a lot of the OGs here. I really appreciate that. Now the castle. The castle, I'm thinking a yellowishy brown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. I think that would work. But I need this to be watered down as well. So I'm going to take and do that again. And put it in my little candy tin. And I think I want to add a little bit of yellow to that. So I think I will go in and do that as well. Just enough because I want it to be a different color. Make sure you do enough. If you have a big painting, make sure you do enough of a color because when you're mixing, it doesn't always come out the same. And I did water this down. Oh, Pam, thanks. Anytime you want to come on, Pam, you're more than welcome. We can paint. So it's been a while since I've done a painting. Where did the chocolates go? That layer was really, really good. They were a mint chocolate, and they came from Ontario. They were a gift at Christmas time. They were brought over, and they were very yummy. They were dark chocolate and milk chocolate, and they tasted almost like Girl Scout cookies. And I haven't had Girl Scout cookies in a while. So now I'm going to take this, and I think I'm going to add a little bit of brown to it because it's a little bit too yellowy. Oh, that makes it really nice. That makes it really nice. You will be seeing a lot more painting from me this year. So I hope you're ready for that. I will be, I want to get back into doing a lot more of my painting. And I have another type of painting I want to do, and that I will probably be doing next week. Like I said, this is for fun. Like this is my own interpretation of a painting. I'm not following anybody else's painting. It was just to have a castle and a dragon. So I drew my dragon and I drew my castle, but then I also gave it a hobbit door. So I put my own twist into the castle, going through the hobbit door into the castle. New year, new fun. Exactly. Exactly. And if anybody ever wants to join me on it, it's just just let me know. Fridays, I usually like to have somebody come on and join along. There is a wall back there that will be a different color. But this is my own interpretation, so I did not even take a peek at. Maybe it's Smog the Dragon from Hobbit. That could be, Raoul. He's just resting out there. I should make some little rings, right? The Lord of the Rings. So this is my castle, and I kind of like this because it's all different colors. Ah, oh yeah, Shannon, it was so good. It was so good. Now I want to add. I want these to be a little bit more rustic up here. So I'm thinking of doing and adding a red into that orange. This red actually. And turn it another color. I could do blues, but I don't want it to clash with the or purples. I don't want it to clash with the other page. I want it to have its own identity, which is why I'm choosing the colors I'm choosing. I want each page to have their own color scheme. So I'm using that same yellow. And when you take that same yellow and color and you add a color to it, it makes everything cohesive, which means this color is in this color, is in this color, will be in this color. But they're all different colors, just blended differently. But as long as you have a base color, all of your palette on your painting will look nice. Which is why I took this green with the dark blue to get this color. which is why they all blend so well. So now I'm going to take and put this up here. Now underneath there will be a little bit different of a color, but that will be after. I will go over that color. I will put a glaze, and a glaze is a watered down version of another color to enhance the underneath color. So you can see now how that all blends, even though it's different. Yolande, exactly. Uh, so I hope everybody is liking how I am doing this. I wasn't going to do a teaching style video, but it just is coming out that way. It's just coming out that way. I'm sorry. It's part of me that it's something that I've done even before. The teaching part of how I paint, I will be adding some of my older videos into my lineup. I will be uploading from my old channel. So you will get to see some of my other paintings that I've done, some of my other designs. You will see the difference on how it's come along so far. But I haven't really painted since, well, other than this one, it as far as painting like a regular painting like this, it's been quite a few years. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it here around this window and around this window. It's not perfect. I don't expect it to be perfect, but the ends of the outcome, I think you'll really like. I really think you'll like it. I need a little bit more of the gray because I have some of the stone up here. That is too wet. Let's get a piece of tissue because I don't want it to run. It's always good to have a piece of tissue around, and I want to put the stone here as well. So I'll come back in the gray. Now, what do? I think I'm going to go darker for them windows. I don't think I'm going to give them as lights. Although I could do a yellow. That one might be a little bright, but that's all right because it'll be a glow, which we can create this glow coming from the window and have it glow in certain other areas. So that will be fine. It is bright, but that's all right. It's nighttime. We will have to put a stars and everything like that as well onto there. Now, the dragon. What color dragon should we do? We see everything else we've got. He needs to stand out. He needs to be bold. What color would you suggest to put the dragon? He needs a base coat, but what do we have for his final color? Do we want him to be do we want this to bring out the eye to travel across, to have the purples and the blues on the dragon, the dark purples? Because then when you look at this picture, it will take you over to the purple. And Yolande is right, purple. So it will bring that out into there. Even though it's a separate painting, it will bring your eye to the next page. Like he's sitting over here waiting for her to walk through. See that yellow back there? That yellow almost looks like it's the castle, way far in the back. So she's walking. Is she walking towards the castle? Towards the star? Is the star lighting up? Do we need to put something similar, like a star like that, above the castle to make it all blend in? So we'll make him purple. And then we will give him gold highlights, I think. I think. So let's get some purple and some blue. And again, I'm using my wonderful little tin and a little bit of blue. Put the purpley, more purpley. This purple is really, really a really, really deep purple. But I mixed it with some blue. Hey, Marguerite, nice to see you. And I'm going to add a little bit of water in there. And we're going to dab just a smidge. And we're going to do the dragon in purple. Now, I will make his scales and stuff gold because I want him to shine. And like I said, I will be coming back in with my ink tints because they are great. Or you could use your color pencils, whichever you prefer. Whichever you prefer. I am doing the whole thing purple. And then I will come back in over because I do have gold paint. And I also have gold pens. So, but I want that hue of the purple underneath. And again, I'm creating that line for his legs. He has two legs coming out there, but I wanted it to show. And this is all you do. You get your base layer down and go for it. Like I said, it doesn't look like anything. But as you go, you will definitely pick up the little details of the different things that you like. Now, since I did the purple here, I'm thinking purple would make nice shadows. The purples and blues would make wonderful shadows. Hi. Okay, I'm thinking, who's your mama? Debbie. Debbie, right? I'm getting there. I am getting there with names. It's nice to see everybody. All right, so now we're to a point where we can start adding in more details. So what I'm going to do is put that off to the side. Try not to spill it all over everything. And I have the Derwent ink tints, and that's what I'm going to use, because once I put it down, I don't want it to move. Even if I come back in with my watercolor, it won't move. And that's what I'm hoping for. So now I can work on details. If you don't have ink pens, that's fine. You can pull out your color pencils, your markers, whatever is your choice of detailing. I do not have a lot of markers. I have some markers, but they're mostly Sharpies, and I really don't want to use those. If I use anything, it will be my color pencils. It will be my permanent um, pens or inks, and my ink tints. I have husky fluff galore happening all over the place. Now, let's see what's underneath here, because I want, see, I got a piece of paper around here. Paper. That is a nice color, but yes, I think that will work perfectly. It looks different when it's dry compared to when you wet it. Oh, you just go for it. That's the fun thing. Because like here, I messed up, but that's all right, because I can go around and clean that up and make that shorter, because I went over the building there, which is not a big deal. But I'm going to take and actually I am going to just break that down just a little bit more, because the ink tints will cover over a little better. And this is a shadow, so that works great. Now my watercolor will move, so I have to be kind of careful. And this is going to be shadowy over here as well. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more and have this shadow back here. I'm going to go with a smaller brush, because I don't want as much water. Dab a little bit of water off and turn this into a shadow back here. And that will fix that. You see, everything is fixable. Everything is fixable. So now I want to add, I think I'll add my trees. And I was going to use marker for my trees, but instead I think I'm going to use the ink tints for my trees. Ink black. And I'm going to put that in. And this is pretty dry now. So the only place that's not real super dry is there. But I'll tell you, I have it here in Alberta, everything dries so much faster than it did in Ontario. And I am doing this now because I don't want to go through the detailing of other on the castle that I don't have to. It is very dry here. So now I'll take my little brush. Oops. And work it down and just go down to the bottom. This ink tints is so amazing, and it's so dark, and it just gives it so much more depth than just a regular pencil. But I will activate it because when it dries, it'll be permanent. If I didn't activate it and I went over it with water, it would have smudged whatever I added to it. So when you activate, make sure you get it all. I do have little extra drawings in there, so oh, Marguerite, you're in British Columbia. Yes, it is very wet there. I came over there in May. We came over to British Columbia. We went over to the island and we toured around and went camping, and it was beautiful. I would love to go back. Now I'm just smudging this out a little bit more to give it more of a base. And like I said, this is as long as it's wet, it's movable, it's blendable, but as soon as it dries, it's done. It's done. So there's one tree. Oh, I still have some branches to do. Almost forgot. And then if I would have went back over that, I would have been in a mess. Painting, painting is my first love. I love um, watercolor. And then woodworking. Woodworking is another thing that I love, and leathering, leather crafting, and oh my God. I just love art in general. It's a lot of fun. So it's getting there. You can actually see the colors when I tilt it. Hi, Lisa. It's nice to see everybody. Now I will take and I will do the other tree on the other side. Up behind the dragon, because he's laying underneath the tree. Have them come out. I want it to kind of blend and have the branches come out to where it's interacting with other pieces of the picture instead of just like in a little tunnel all by itself. Have your branches expand, which I need to do over here. Expand it just a little bit more. And when you make your trees, the bases of all of your branches are thicker than all the ends. So remember to do that when you're putting your branches out there. The bottom parts are always thicker than the top parts. So just give it a little bit of body because that's what holds your branch up. It's like this guy needs to be a little bit thicker because he has a little bit more to hold up there. So they need to be a little bit more sturdier. So now we'll go back over with our brush and bring it all together. And I will go back in and go around some of my trees with a little bit of a grayish color, but that will be with either pencil or with gouache because the ink tints is pretty dark. But do make sure you get all of it wet because if you don't, then you're going to have an issue. I know I'm repeating myself, but it is very, very important to make sure you activate what you've put down with the ink tints. Because you already know your watercolor is going to move. I'm going to make this tree just a little bit bigger. So he has something to be laying under. Doing watercolor, it does take time. And I wasn't going to do this because it was going to take me time. It's already been an hour. Well, I think we could go just a little bit longer and try and get some of the detailing done. And you can go in once your page is wet if you wanted to and just go back over. I'm going to extend some of these because I felt they were not enough. And then make sure you get your little branches. And they don't have to be perfect either, because trees aren't perfect. Everything is perfectly imperfect. And that's what I say about my art. It's perfectly imperfect. So now I'm going to go back over where I just added a little bit. I'm by no means a professional, but I've been using watercolor for a very long time, and I just enjoy the medium. And the more you use it, the more you will get to know how each of your watercolors react. And every brand is different. I have tried many, many different brands of watercolor, and they all act differently. Some are more opaque, some blend easier. Like it depends on what you want to do. So do keep that in mind when you are using different brands. They all are really nice. You can paint with any of them, but they all react differently. Your papers all react differently. Just like this one. This is a sketchbook. This is not watercolor paper, but I am using it as a watercolor. But Stillman and Birn it's a very thick paper. So it is very nice to use. Now I'm going to come into the castle. I've been thinking about this, and I know I need to do some shading. So I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to do some of this as shading. Just this line. And this is a darker color, but I'm also going to put that down in here as well. And I'm going to do that to all of them. And I'm not being overly fussy with my lines. And you don't have to either. I'm doing this because I'm enjoying the process, and that's what your art is about. Enjoy the process. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfectly perfect. So you can see that pretty well. Now I'm just going to come back in with, try not to get other colors on there, with my brush and just kind of blend it so it looks like a shadow. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just gives it that extra little edge, because afterwards, as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, wouldn't it look nice as a ink and wash? I'm thinking as I'm going. I'm debating, do I want to ink this? So it is a good possibility that I will be inking it. And by inking it, I mean doing like I've done in a couple of other, with the scribbly lines, not just a straight line. I think it would look really nice with a black outline on this one. Yep, this is looking good. I like that idea. It gives it just enough of a, and I don't care if my pencil line shows. Okay, Yolande. No worries. And thank you. It's a process. It is a process. Now, this color, I'm going to do the outline of the window here a little bit darker. So I will use this color. It is this almost the same color, but it makes for a nice shading. So I'm going to take and bring this out a little bit, because they are the main windows that you want to see. Now, I think I'm going to work on the grays, and I think I'm going to give it a blue-gray shadow. That would work. That would work. So I think I'm going to take, and I'm just going to do a gentle line, a no pressing, because when you press with your ink tints, the harder you press, the more ink you are putting on the page. So I just want a very gentle outline. So I am not going to press. So when you're doing this, make sure, if you want an awful lot of ink put out, you press harder. If you want a little bit of ink, you go lighter. So that's what I'm doing. I am going lighter. No pressing hard because this is just to define and shadow. And it will look really, really good because it'll have that blue hue to it, which will then bring out the blues from everywhere else. So now I'm going to take a smaller brush because with a smaller brush, I have more control of my water and I will be able to just go around gently and create my shadow. And I want some of the shadow to show up on the bottom of the stone. So I'll lift this up so you can see where we're going so far. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this done, but it is fun working on it. I'm trying to give it a little bit of shadow underneath the stone where the door is. And all of these things you can do with your crayons, your markers, your color pencils. You can do this with any of that stuff. But I am preferring to use the brush. And I do have other designs that are on the page that I can still see. And you can see how the details start bringing it together. Now I do have the lines and I also have the handles and stuff on the door. So let's pull. I'm going to leave that one on the side. Let's pull out a brown, a darker brown. This is called bark. How convenient. And I'm going to just make the line go down the center. Draw the handles. Should have probably do this in ink, but this is the door, and the door is made of wooden planks. So we're going to just give the planks their darker shade. And then we're going to take and just make little lines just to give it the look of the grain. Not overdone because you don't want it to smear. And very lightly. And then I will go across the bottom to give the door the definition. Thanks, Anne. See you later. So I think after I do this, I will let everybody go unless they are really enjoying it and want to see the finished product. Now, to get the grain, I'm just going to wet the whole door, just going down with it, just brushing gently. And that will highlight the grain of the doors. I'm not really brushing hard or anything like that. Hey, April. It's nice to see everybody. I hope you're all enjoying the painting. Sometimes these paintings can just take a very long time, depending on, excuse me, depending on how much detail you want to put into it. And there's the door. And I shouldn't have used that much water right there, so I brushed some off. And I'm just going to bring that over, because it's like a little shadow right there. And again, the brush tip has everything to do with where that paint goes. And you remember, it is watercolor, so it is reactivating underneath there. So the only thing we have really left is the dragon, the walkway, the castle, the stars, and whatever other little details I want to put in. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to say thank you, everybody. I think this is a good stopping place. And if you want to see this completed, you come back on Friday morning. Friday morning after Mary's done, it's about 9:15 a.m. my time, 11:15 for you on the eastern side of the continent. And I want to say thank you. I think this is a good stopping spot. And I want everybody to say, I want to say thank you so many times. Thank you. Because I had a great day. I had a great time with all of you here. I want to wish you all a continuous new year, and come back on Friday and we'll finish the painting on Friday. So from my quiet corner to yours, happy arting, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.